So now we move on to a pro cage BKB bout, 3 times 2-minute rounds. This fight is brought to you by our sponsors, Northern Exotics. We've got Ash Gibson in the blue corner, red and white shorts, and we've got Mark Fletcher coming out throwing bombs in the red corner with the white shorts with blue trim. Oh, and they're going straight at it, these two. Mark Fletcher, this is his debut in BKB, but Ash Gibson, I've witnessed him win titles in this. I think a record of 4-4, but he loves to stand and bang.
Yeah, putting combinations together really well there as well. In bare knuckle boxing, it's weird to see, you don't see it very often. A lot of head movement, going a little bit low there, but trying to avoid those punches at all costs.
And Ash Gibson has competed all over the world, in all different disciplines as well, very relaxed in there. Fights regularly, an independent fighter, but well known across the scene. And Mark Fletcher coming out of that AVT.
Nice right hand, that's really stung him.
Beautiful right hand. These are throwing some heavy shots early on. Ash Gibson again connecting with that left this time. Good head movement.
You know, Ash really finding a home for that right hand, but he really kind of saw it coming and threw a nice little uppercut to open up that combination. Moving well. Has quite good vision in there. Definitely the smaller man out of the two, but moving very well.
Also in the eyes of, I think it's just blood dripping down. There's a small cut on the nose and coming from the nostrils of Mark Fletcher.
Fletcher taking a nice jab. And that's the thing with bare knuckle boxing, the little shots, they just make such a difference. You can cut so easily with that blood starts running into the eyes, puts you off, makes you start thinking, and then one shot can end it.
Already wearing it on his face, Mark Fletcher. Said he's going to bring the war, and certainly doing that against Ash Gibson. So there's
that uppercut again. Beautiful timing with that right hand. That's the second time he's done that. Little bit of showboating.
Ash Gibson looks loose and relaxed in there, and again I talk about the experience, not just in BKB but MMA, K1 boxing.
Really caught the nose flush there with that beautiful right uppercut. Timed it great, and that's the thing with sometimes in bare knuckle, because you're trying to avoid the shot so much, you duck into you're moving your head and you really duck into the shot. So varying it up and throwing the uppercut, great work there, and it paid off.
And there's a massive difference in there in the sport of BKB. We haven't got the gloves to hide behind. You can't do that peekaboo thing. Also, like you said, superficial damage comes so easy with this. You just have to get caught a couple of times in the same spot. Your eyes start swelling up, cuts can open up.
And the superficial damage, you know, is great for the viewers and they can see it, but it more psychologically does something to you than it does physically.
Yeah.
The blood drop running into your eye, you know, could put you off and your arm bleeding, and then you start thinking about it, and it's not really actually, cuts do nothing, you know, realistically, apart from the psychological damage they cause. And on the other side, the person who's caused the cut, he gets a bit of a rush of adrenaline, like, I've cut him, I can go for broke now.
Ash Gibson set for round number 2 against Mark Fletcher. Gibson in the blue corner, Mark Fletcher in the red corner with the white shorts and the blue trim, the blue belt.
Ash looking very loose, that left front hand below. Oh, getting caught there on the end of that combination from Fletcher.
And a little nod of recognition there. I've seen Ash Gibson look at that right hand a few times. I want to see if he throws it. We've seen earlier on tonight Danny Mitchell, as we found that, snapped a tendon in his little finger, throwing punches against the skull of his opponent. Ash Gibson, let's see if that right hand is hindered. It doesn't seem to be, through it right over the top then.
Fletcher pulling forwards and really is the bigger man. You can see it, not moving as well, but he's much bigger, much sturdier. Needs to bite down and come forward.
But look at that left eye now. It's already starting to close there, wearing the damage from the right hand of Ash Gibson. It looks like they've asked Mark Fletcher to keep a bit more range rather than just step in. Certainly looking to keep a bit more distance, a bit more body movement now. Less bullish than he was in the first round.
Be a bit more intelligent with his entries, but come forward and cause damage. I mean, they definitely, from those uppercuts you saw with that right uppercut, he's been timed well twice with that, and they're trying to avoid a little bit more damage there. But they're much more intelligent in this round, moving a lot more. But I just feel like if he gives Ash the space, you can see he's very, very relaxed, moving very well, very fluid, and then has dangerous shots on the end of it.
Oh, but look, Fletcher trying to bring the pressure, but Ash Gibson avoiding any damage, keeping that head low, circling out, making space once again. And again, make some room.
Intelligent movement there to get back to the center of the cage. Might not look the best, but he's doing well to get there. You know, puts him in a great position to start off again with his combinations.
And there's the showboating. Oh dear. Oh, who's going to clean that off the canvas?
It's probably going to be you, mate.
So there we have another round in the books. We'll move into the third and final round of this cage bare knuckle boxing bout. And Mark Fletcher wearing a lot of damage there. That left side of the face is taken. A lot of shots from Ash Gibson. The cheek swelling up, the eye as well. The cutsman working on that.
But did a lot better in the second round to avoid damage. Moved a lot, you know, was a lot more intelligent coming in with the entries, like you said. The corner of it obviously told him to do that and pick his entries rather than just bullying forward. But Ash isn't really overcommitting to anything. He's just being intelligent and waiting. And even that showboating, you know, that's a trick to try and get your opponent to bull into you so you can land shots. So the experience of Ash Gibson really paying off there. You know, he's had a lot of fights and he knows what he's doing. So he's trying to psychologically play with his opponent and make him overcommit. In BKB, it's all about the commitment. If he can make him miss and punish, just 1-2 shots can be it. You know what I mean?
So there we have a nice moment at the start of this third and final round. This fight once again brought to you by our sponsors, Northern Exotics. Mark Fletcher with the blue trim on his shorts. Ash Gibson in the white shorts. Oh, headlock there. Standing guillotine there in the BKB realms. That would be a bit different.
I'm sure one day we'll see BKB MMA. It'll happen one day. But he needs to save those guillotines until that moment.
Oh,
nice straight jab.
In. Look at that. And you can see Gibson happy with his work there.
Oh, big shots coming from Fletcher. And their corner really calling him on. That was the moment to go.
And do you think he needs this round? In fact, needs to finish in this round? Where would you put it so far?
It's very tight in the second, but I think in the first he definitely struggled. So it's hard to really say, but I would be telling him, yes, you need to finish. You need to get, and that can happen easily. We've only got a minute and a half really left in this round, so he needs to go to work. But golden opportunities like he just had again. Now he needs to go to work. Good tie up from Ash.
They separate.
You know, you can see Ash really hasn't taken much damage in this fight at all if you look at his face. Very fresh.
Very fresh indeed. That jab working well for him again. Now mixing it up to the body.
And the barrage from Fletcher. And again, his corner calling him on, and he takes a step back, allowing Ash to get back into the fight.
That is interesting, isn't it? Because you felt like he was getting the momentum then, but it wasn't just a step back, but he purposely took a long bit of distance away from his opponent.
And that's something you learn with experience, though. You know, take one step back, not three. Just take the one step if that's what you want to do, and reassess the distance. But don't give your opponent time to you know, re-engage and feel comfortable. You had him on the back foot. And again, now go to work. This is when he needs to be going forward, and that he does it this time. He's closing the distance, looking for the kill. Nice shot, nice combination. Blood on the hands now of Ash, so maybe he's caused some damage.
But the uppercut from Ash just missed, and he came with the overhand right again, connected on that side of the face of Mark Fletcher. Oof, and there we go.
You could see Mark was just getting into it then. It's almost like he'd overcome the barriers, and he was warm and he was ready, and he was really looking for the kill. I saw a switch in him and a difference in his mentality, and he was stalking his opponent. It might be a little bit too late, we don't know, but that round was the best round for Fletcher, and he seemed to seem more comfortable in there as he got later on in the fight.
Nice bit of respect between the two, despite the showboating, despite the taunts during the breaks between rounds.
I mean, if you're doing BKB, you're all about the entertainment. You're obviously a savage in general, but you're going in there to try and thrill the crowd and do something that not many people are willing to do. So it doesn't surprise me that they're showboating. It doesn't surprise me that they want to put on a show. Great to see, and then a little bit of a sign of respect afterwards, because you know that's what it's all about at the end of the day.
They probably learn more about each other in that 6 minutes than most humans will learn about each other in their entire lives. So great to see the respect. This one will go to the judges' scorecard, though. Couple of close rounds in there. As far as damage goes, though, Mark Fletcher, he'll certainly know what it's like to take a few of those punches. Ash Gibson as well. I think that right hand will be troubling him.
For me, it'll definitely come down to the second round if it's anything. The first round, I would go in the way of Ash Gibson. I'd say he definitely took that. Second was close. We're about to find out.
3 fantastic rounds of cage steel bare knuckle boxing. We go to the judges' scorecards. And we have a split decision in favor of your winner. From the red corner, Mark Fletcher!
You can see there, both were neither corner was sure which way that was going to go in that split decision. But like you said, I think you're absolutely right. That one round between them that was very close was the one that will have decided it between the two.
Yeah, I think Ash definitely won the first. The second round was extremely close and both had their moments. Third round, you could see Mark Fletcher coming forward, taking control of the fight. And, you know, maybe that swayed the judges the last round as they moved forward. It was a split decision, very close fight. You can see the respect between both opponents. And it was a great bout. So, you know, for the fans, they're the winners at the end of the day.